XMG.
Alright, if you could state your name for the camera, please, sir.
I say,
I said, if you could state your name for the camera, please, sir.
Mr. Lee, man. For everybody that don't know.
Okay. Mr. Lee, how you doing?
I'm good.
Alright, I'm gonna start this off like this. You know, the thing about producers, you hear about them, you never see them. You know? So, as a producer, probably the biggest name in Dallas right now for sure. I know you've been in the agent, you did all the platinum hits. How you feel about being more visualized?
I mean, in these days and time, I guess it calls for it right now, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, you have to be diversified and really know how to adapt with the time. I'm really more of a studio body. I like to be in the lab working and creating. I'm really not a lot into the social media type shit, being out in the clubs and all of that. I love the music side of it. I really don't like pandering around and doing all of the frivolous politics, you know what I mean, different shit like that. Then, you know, too, coming from the 90s, that's what it really was about anyway. So now we're in a whole different area. You got the social media, people out, you got to let people see what you're doing online and all this kind of shit. So it's some different type of shit.
So you ready for that?
I gotta be.
Alright, tell us, who are some of the guys you work with for the people who don't know?
Man, I work with a variety of a lot of people, man. You know, Scareface, Slim Thug, Fifth Ward Boys, Ghetto Boys, Jay-Z, Rick Ross, Nipsey Hussle, Tupac, Lil Kiki from Houston, man, AZ, Bizzy Bone, Bun B, Pimp C, Mary J. Blige.
So let me ask you this: out of all those people you named, did you talk to them a lot?
Everybody that I pretty much named, I talked to except for Tupac. I talked to Jay-Z. I was in the studio with Jay-Z a couple of times. But
So
yeah, for the most part, I talked to most everybody that I did. AZ I did over the internet.
Let me ask you this: who out of those guys, who strikes you as like the most intellectual?
Man, not being biased, I got to give it to Scarface. He deep, you know what I mean? That's just what he on, you know what I mean? The dude is real deep. There's a lot of layers to his lyrics and the music and the stuff, so, you know, I had to give that to Scarface.
Alright. So let me ask you this, because out of all them people you name, I probably like Slim the most just because I grew up in 2000s when, you know. But anyways, far as Slim Thug, I remember they had a flood and he really drove a Phantom, you know what I'm saying, a long time ago.
Yeah.
So I mean, when you're around those kind of young guys and they're young, do you see any of that around here?
Not like that, nah. It's far and few between here. I don't know why, but nah, I don't really see it like that. But you know, you talking about a Slim Thug, you talking about a motherfucker that's extra when it come to hustling and different shit like that. Slim got layers of ways of getting money. He just don't depend on rap money. The little nigga been hustling since I've been knowing him now. You know, I knew him when he had a afro and braids to the shit falling out with just a little skinny ass lineup. No motherfucking hair looking ass.
I saw that. You know, I'm a boss. I watched them do that.
Yeah, slick head ass nigga.
Alright, so let me ask you, as far as Dallas goes, who are some of the people you worked with that kind of stand out to you?
Man, I got to say Big Chief is one. You know, definitely. You know, dude is real talented, real stand-up type of cat, man. I like fucking with Big Chief. And I got to say Yellow Beezy, little homie, you know.
Man, I like Yellow Beezy is going hard.
Yellow Beezy, my little nigga. That's my little nephew, man. I fuck with him. Can't leave 52 Savage out the picture with his crazy ass. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Dallas, you know, but Dallas as a whole, Dallas got a ton of talented artists here. And the crazy thing about Dallas is that Dallas rappers are incredibly diverse. You got hip-hop niggas, you got real storytelling niggas, you got trap rappers. It's a layer of motherfuckers out here, bro. Way more than I could say. I could say it's a little bit more deep diversity wise than Houston is.
So let me ask you this: why do you think the big difference between Dallas and Houston, as far as in the music, is not not nothing dumb or negative? It's like something that people can understand now.
What's the difference?
Yeah.
If you had to A/B the situations, I think one of the most critical problems that Dallas have is they don't have a person like Lil J to bring a foundation to the music industry here in the city. That's a huge problem. When you don't have that type of support and that type of structure, then you don't have the flow of people that's really coming in to the city to observe the talent, or you don't have a hub, so to speak, to where people can come to and say, okay, this is where their talent is, to be able to pass the baton to other people. We don't have a real big structure business-wise in the music business here in Dallas. And that's one of the biggest problems too. Second problems is, this goes for Houston and Dallas, a lot of people be focused on the city shit and not focusing on the music. And what I mean by that is that the music that a lot of us are doing is bigger than the city anymore. You know what I mean? It's not saying that you're turning your back on the city or you don't support the city. If you think and your goals are to be the biggest nigga in a city or a neighborhood with music, then you making a real small goal for yourself. And I think a lot of people don't get that shit, and they get so wrapped into who the hottest niggas in the city, who ain't supporting them, who ain't coming out, who ain't letting them get on the record. Who gives a fuck if you can't get on a nigga record, or if a nigga don't show up to your show, or if a nigga don't like your post and all of this kind of shit? That ain't about no money. You know what I mean? You might be able to touch a motherfucker way in Wyoming or somebody with your music. You know what I mean? So waiting on the motherfucker to accept you here and to certify you and stamp you as quote unquote one of the go-to niggas in the city is the most pathetic shit that you can ever look for, because as soon as you pop, whether it's in the city or not, you're gonna get those accolades anyway, because the city's gonna embrace you, say that nigga's from Houston or that nigga's from Dallas. You know what I mean? But if you sit here and you want to wait for that stamp before you actually go out and march out across the lines of your city and state so people can hear your music, then you really putting yourself in a position to be overlooked.
All right, I can dig that. So I got another question for you. If it was just one thing you could tell young up and coming rappers, like some advice that'll help them really get to money directly, not like how to get there directly, but a mind state thing, that could help change them to where they could pursue the money more.
I mean, one of the most important things is to make sure that you're putting your best foot first, and make sure that your music is done correctly, and make sure that you are investing into your music. If you out here pandering and thinking that everything you do is gonna be free, you want to record in your nigga's room or some shit in the closet and all this kind of fake ass shit, then you really putting yourself in a position to be treated that way, because you can't compete with these motherfuckers that's in these studios sending their records out to get mastered, and the people actually investing into their music. You can't compete with them. You know what I mean? So everybody need to understand, in order to do business, you got to really be doing it for real. And that means you have to invest, pay people in order to be able to have something to get back. If you're not copping something, it's like buying stocks. If you don't invest money into stocks, then you can't trade shit because you ain't got nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how this shit is. If you're gonna buy a track, buy the motherfucking track. Don't get online and use the shit with the motherfucking stamp all in the shit, or thinking that you're doing some hell of a shit because you done bought a track off of motherfucking YouTube or SoundClick for $25 when there's another 1,500 motherfuckers got the same track. Spend the money, invest into yourself right, be unique, and if you really believe in yourself, take the chance to do this shit the right way.
Okay, I can appreciate that. Well, one, my battery's going dead, and two, I'm sure I'll get some more interviews with you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to give a shout out.
I just want to give a shout out to Houston and Dallas. Everybody that's been supporting me for the last 22 years. Y'all make sure y'all look out for my new school, XMG School of Music and Business. Have a new studio out here in Dallas. XMG Studios, the vault, building the bank vault. Y'all look for that shit. Don't overlook it. If you say Black Lives Matter, then the black dollar got to count too, goddamn.
Last but not least, King George TV.
Yes, sir.